Hey guys, so I'm gonna go over the Unbroken Bonds set list and go over any cards I think might be good for the cube. Um, this is for my own personal cube though, so while there may be a card that's good for your cube, I might not put it in my cube still. So I'm pulling everything from Poke Beach. They have the official set list, and I'm just gonna get started. So GX Pokemon I just ignore. I don't have any GX in my cube. I have EX, but no GX. GX are a little too strong. This Caterpie, the ability is really good. I actually run the other Caterpie that lets you evolve it the turn you play it. Uh, but I have two of them because I think that effect's really powerful in grass. So I think I might just replace one of the Caterpies with this Caterpie because it kind of doubles up on that effect. And same with this Metapod. Their attack is kind of it's not very good, but I mean it's grass Pokemon and their main focus is evolving. So this Butterfree's not good enough to add. It's energy acceleration, but I don't really have much energy acceleration in grass. This Oddish is mediocre. This Oddish is not good. This Gloom, the ability is interesting, but I don't think it warrants like the problem with this Gloom is its attack is still not strong enough, so probably not. This is a pretty good Vileplume actually. Its ability is a status effect, which is one of the archetypes of grass, and its attack is a healing attack, which is also another archetype. So it kind of fulfills two roles. I don't know if it's strong enough yet though, because it's two greens and a colorless instead of one green and two colorless. I might try it out for a bit and see how it goes. Yeah, these aren't that great. This Venonat's actually okay, but it doesn't have any interesting abilities, so. Oh, this is a pretty good Venomoth actually. A status effect for one energy. So grass Pokemon, I try to keep the attacks 1-2 energies because there's a lot of quick evolutions, and they're supposed to be really aggressive early on. Ignore GX. Spellsprout's boring. This is a pretty interesting Weeping Bell. Status effect. Nothing else that's really catching my eye though. Oh, this is interesting. Green and two colorless for 9 damage and no abilities. That could be quite useful. I might try this out. But there's no... Actually, this could work. Because if you play double team, you have one Pokemon that gives status effects and this Pokemon that does a bunch of damage based on the status effects. So I'm just gonna ignore cards I don't think warrant going into my cube. That's a cool effect. I try to keep straight from Ultra Beasts unless they're a bit more low powered. GX. The hell? 4 red? That's pretty expensive. Oh, this is not bad. 10 damage and energy acceleration. Usually this ability is you just switch for energies, you don't get to do damage. So also colorless, which is quite nice. Yeah, these fire Pokemon pretty standard stuff. Then this is actually not bad. 1 red for 20 and burn. It's basically 40 damage. This is a nice Incineroar. 2 energy for 90 damage and discard energy. That's pretty cheap. In fact, that's kind of strong. And this ability lets you do 30 more damage with like all your Pokemon. I think this is actually a really strong card. I might add this. That's really niche. Oh, that's a good card. I really like draw supports in the form of Pokemon, and discarding a Fire Energy fits the Fire archetype too. So you're getting card draw, and it still fits the bill. Also, 2 energy for 60 damage is nothing to scoff at, especially as a stage 1. Wow. Moving on to water now. That's pretty basic stuff. I don't really like abilities that only affect the Pokemon the ability is on. Like, I like abilities that affect the game state. Like, this is pretty good. Where, well, actually no, this is no, it's the same thing. Never mind. So I learned my lesson with these kind of attacks or abilities and attacks where you can only use it like once a game, and at the beginning they're pretty much like, I don't know, it's not very, they're very inconsistent. I'd rather have a card that's more consistent and a little worse. Yeah, nothing interesting here. The water Pokemon don't seem that great, to be honest. A lot of really basic attacks. Like, what is this? Hmm. Wow, water is pretty abysmal this set. I'm moving on to lightning. The problem with these cards is we only play with 4 prize cards, so uh, if you're at this point, you're like, this is never gonna be used pretty much. Hey, this is pretty interesting. It's kind of like the what's the card? Voltorb that I have in my cube. But 3 energies for 60 damage. I mean, you're pretty much using it for this ability, so we'll see. I might add this actually. Charge a bug. I like this, except it's a basic and has 120 HP. 120 HP, and that's something I try to avoid. So, Psychic generally wants poison effects, damage counter, tools. Kind of controlling. Wow, that's strong. This is like a controlling effect, and you get poison. I'll probably try this out in the cube. That's pretty good. You can use this ability once during your turn when you play this card from your hand to evolve a Pokemon. Put 6 damage counters on your Pokemon GX and EX in any way you like. The attack's not bad. Poison and sleep and 70 damage for 3 colorless. You could splash this into other decks. This is very specific though, only towards Pokemon EX, and currently there aren't that many people playing EX cards. So I don't think I'd add this, but if EX Pokemon do see a resurgence, then I might consider this card. Oh, that's really cool. Actually, I'm gonna add this. This attack's kind of lackluster, I guess. Psychic does have a lot of ways to put cards into opponent's hands. But this is really nice. That's okay. I don't think I'll add it to my cube. Oh, this is like a Versus Seeker Light. But the attack is pretty expensive. And 120 HP, like I said, basic Pokemon try to avoid 120 HP. It's kind of awkward, like when you evolve from 120 HP to 80 and then back up to 120. I have a card like this, like a bench barrier effect, but bench Pokemon are not very. You don't see much of it at the moment, so probably avoid it for now. What the? Hey, that's pretty good. Psychic actually doesn't really have many draw supports besides Uxie, and I think this is a good way to give Psychic draw, but at the cost of knocking out the Pokemon. So, like, it's a very powerful effect with a very powerful downside, and I think that's fair because Psychic, they're very volatile. I think so. It's like they're binary. It's either one way or the other, and I think this is a good card for them. Also a status effect, which is not bad, but three energies is pretty expensive. This effect I try to reserve for metal. They have a lot of Jirachis that do this. Unfortunately, if it says active Pokemon's an Ultra Beast, I try to ignore it. It's kind of, we don't really run Ultra Beast in the cube. There's like 2 Ultra Beasts and they're Psychic, so this would be pointless. Ignore. On to fighting. Nothing really interesting here. All really basic attacks where they just do damage for energy. This is pretty cool. Especially with that Diglett I saw earlier. Let's see if I can find it. If you discard it with Giovanni's Exile, then you get discard top card of your opponent's deck. And then you get to discard 5 for stage 1. The only problem with this is, yeah, it's powerful, but then I need to add a bunch. Well, not necessarily a bunch, but like at least 2 Giovanni's Exiles. And it'll basically render this card useless if you don't have this card. And while you're playing, you need to be able to draw into this card and have this card out. The requirements are too stringent. So nothing truly interesting at the moment. That's a weird effect. That's not bad, actually. It's a lot of damage for 2 colorless. So I think I'll stop here. So I've gone through a few types now, and I'll make a part 2 to this video. I think it's running on for a little too long now. And I'll go over the rest of the Pokemon, so Dark and onwards, and then Trainers. So thanks for watching. Make sure you give me a like and subscribe. It really helps out. I have no likes or subscribers at the moment. And I'll be sure to continue posting videos, keep you updated on what I'm doing with my cube. This is meant to be more of like a video to show players or people how it is I kind of decide to put cards into my cube, and like not I won't necessarily add all these cards to my cube, but I'll have them on deck in case I want to swap cards out.